Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I was going to do this as a three-part video, probably on my commentary channel, but I figured, you know what, I'll probably still will end up doing those videos. But no, I overall wanted to do a podcast episode. Well, I have no other podcast episodes recorded, so I figured, alright, let me go ahead figure out something that I need to do, and I seen that I was going to eventually work on these videos talking on DJ Akademiks, Andrew Tate, and Myron Gaines. Now I know people are probably thinking along the lines like, what beef do you have with those individuals? Because you'll make some post or something about Andrew Tate from time to time. You've been talking about Myron Gaines a lot recently. And I feel like I am most likely at some point in time done made some comments about DJ Akademiks. But I'll have to say, out of them three, it will probably... Andrew Tate and Myron Gaines will probably be neck and neck, but if I had to do like a 1, 2, 3 thing, it will probably be Myron Gaines first, Andrew Tate second, and DJ Akademiks third. Because here's the thing, right? With Myron Gaines, when you look at his tweets, and I mean, even it's the same thing with Andrew Tate. And I feel like DJ Akademiks, I feel like he genuinely means the stuff that he says, but I feel like that's the same with well, then again, I don't know. I do feel like that with Andrew Tate and Myron Gaines. They only say things because they know that it's going to get them a lot of attention. They might mean the stuff that they say, they might not mean the stuff that they say, but I feel like the stuff that they say, that's not something that you just wake up and start thinking about. That's not something where it's all like, oh, I gotta hurry up and pull my phone out. Like, there's so many different things that you can do when pulling your phone out. You could be thinking of, okay, let me write down some ideas for a YouTube video or a podcast episode, or let me get into app development. Let me, I guess find another social media platform to put myself on. Like, there are so many different things. Contact a friend or a family member. I'm saying there's so many different things that you can do throughout your phone, but you decide to open up Twitter and make some comments about people where it's like, what have them people done to you? Talking on Myron Gaines, it's like, what have them people done to you? Like, he'll go after people where it's like, fam, they haven't said nothing to you. If anything, here's what it is. It's either one, he's just doing this for attention, or two, he's upset because they don't want to be bothered with him. And I think it was, Drewski, where he was upset. I guess, I think he contacted Drewski to be on his podcast. And Drewski, I don't even think he declined. I think he didn't even respond. And I'm like, yeah, it's for good reasons too. My thing is this, right? When you look at somebody like Drewski, and then when you look at somebody like Myron Gaines, two different people. Two different areas of content creating, just overall, yeah, but just, like when we're looking at them as a person, two completely different people. Why would I put myself in an environment where I know I'm not going to be comfortable? And that's talking on if I'm Drewski. I know I'm not going to be comfortable in your environment, so why would I want to be there? Why should I be there? What is that overall going to do for me? Nothing at all. Drewski, my thing is this. When you look at somebody like Drewski and when you look at somebody like Myron Gaines, you see the obvious difference between them two, where Drewski is in the best possible position in life. I'm saying this man has had like multiple moments. Like anytime when a Drewski video or live stream happens, that man is always going to have a highlight reel. When has that ever happened with Myron Gaines? I'm like, my thing is this. The one and only time I remember where I sat down and watched something regarding Myron Gaines, it was because a friend of mine was on his podcast. And my friend, she played it off cool. Like, she didn't really say a whole lot. She didn't really engage in no conversations. She did say some things here and there. But overall, though, I think she knew about Myron Gaines. Like, she knew what he was about and stuff. So, yeah, overall, though, but yeah, that was like the one and only time I remember watching this podcast. And I'm like, fam, this podcast is toxic. Like, I didn't enjoy myself at all when watching that podcast. I was just mainly watching it to support my friend. I was hoping that my friend would have said more. But then after a while, it's all like, oh, Now I can understand why. I'm like, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's all like, here's the thing. If I have the opportunity to do a video with Drewski or do a video with Myron Gaines, I'm definitely doing a video with Drewski. I'm like that. If I had no other choice to do a video with Myron Gaines, it's definitely one of those things where I'm all like, I know that most likely a fight's gonna happen because he done said something to, either upset me or upset somebody else. And that's the thing. That's honestly what I see in his future, is that he's going to mess around and say the wrong thing, and he's going to be out and about, and somebody's going to catch him lacking. And I'm like, if that's what you want your career, because I feel like that, yeah, somebody like Myron Gaines, he comes off as an individual that don't care about his life. Like if I could sit down and really try to read this guy, he doesn't care about his life. Because my thing is this, if you got it where people out there that don't say crazy toxic things, and you have it where there's people that still be trying to track them down, stalking them, saying like, oh, I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to do that to you, and they're saying it to a person that ain't did absolutely nothing to them, what do you think is going to happen to somebody like Myron Gaines? It's either going to be, I feel like it's going to be a situation where somebody's going to punk him out, and we're going to see this man for who he really is. And I feel like that's because I feel like that a lot of people, we're trying to guess like who he is as a person, but I feel like the day when we catch this man lacking, that's when we'll see him for who he really is. And I'm telling you, that is going to probably be the funniest thing ever. Hopefully it ain't no situation where somebody tries to take this man's life, but it's definitely gonna be a situation where somebody's gonna punk him out one day. And he ain't gonna be able to do it. His friends ain't gonna be able, if he does have any friends, I guess, that actually genuinely care about him. His friends ain't gonna be able to help him. His family ain't gonna be able to help him. Nobody. I'm like, even his own supporters. The fact that somebody like Myron Gaines even has supporters in the first place, that just trips me out. That trips me all the way out, where I'm all like, there's people that you can genuinely be supporting where they're doing something good for content creating or just overall putting out a positive message out there. You would rather support somebody where every time when his mouth opens or anytime when he get the tweeting or posting something on social media, it's always negative. I do not understand that about people. I don't. Like, I get it. You can't always be positive on some things. But I'm saying, like, if you have that choice on whether or not to be positive or negative, and you decide to be negative, yeah, it's like, don't be surprised, I guess, when you get a negative reaction. And then that was another thing with Myron Gaines, where I'm all like, I honestly genuinely believe, though, that he just be saying things for attention. Because I'm like, I feel like it all really started, or it really got popular. I mean, it's been popular for a minute now, where people, they just say and do things for attention. But I feel like being in that same ballpark where, oh, I got this weird attitude towards women, even though I have women in my life. Yeah, I feel like, oh, that really started with Andrew Tate. When you look at guys like him, it's like, fam, I wanted to get to this tweet, and that's why I'm all like, I genuinely believe that he just be saying things for attention, talking about Myron Gaines, but he goes on and makes this tweet talking about that, the other podcast host, Bobby Althoff, I think that's how you say her last name. But anyways, and it's something where I'm all like, fam, my thing is this. Maybe he, I guess, wasn't paying attention to what he said. I'm like, I get that if maybe there was a big moment in her kid's life that she missed to go do this podcast episode with Drake, then I'm like, that would make sense. What Myron Gaines says, he says that she missed the birth of her child to go do an interview with Drake. Mind you, women have to be present in order to give birth. I'm like, there's no way possible he could be that dumb. There's no way possible where because I remember I did look that up. He did go to college. He has some form of education. And I imagine that even if you didn't learn that in school, you just overall know that. And I'm like, that I find that very, 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 very hard to believe that you're just, you can't be that dumb. I'm telling you right now, you can't be that dumb. If he is, I'm like, man, may God have mercy on your soul, bro. Cause I'm telling you, that's sad. That's some sad stuff right there. But anyways, but no, let's switch over to talking on Andrew Tate. Fun fact about Andrew Tate, and I'm like, fam, that's the crazy thing about it, where it's like, I know that he has. With Myron Gaines, I don't really know what his extended family is like, whether he has sister or cousin, female cousins. I imagine, yes, he does have a mom. And I'm like, that's something where I gotta ask. Not so much DJ Akademiks, because I really don't see him making no tweets and posts about women. Although, not as often, I guess, as Andrew Tate and Myron Gaines. But yeah, he has made some posts before where it's all like, okay, you wonder why you're getting questioned by people and things. But anyways, but no, overall though, with Andrew Tate, I seen that he has a sister, and I'm like, fam, but I did look that up though, and they said that him and his sister ain't close, and I'm like, yeah, I can see why. My thing is this: if I carried on anything like Andrew Tate, the thing is this, it would be impossible for me to carry on like Andrew Tate, Myron Gaines, guys like that, because I have women in my life that I care about. And my thing is this, that's a question that you gotta ask guys like Myron Gaines and Andrew Tate. How would that make you feel? The stuff that you be saying about people online, you had somebody in your family's face, family, friends, somebody that you overall care about. Maybe they don't have nobody that they care about. I really don't know at the end of the day. But overall, let's say you have somebody in your life that you care about, and the stuff that you be saying online, somebody is in that person that you care about's face saying them same exact things. I guarantee and I promise you'll have an issue with that. I promise you guys that you have an issue with that. So it just strips the life out of me, where it's like, I know that this guy has women in his life, yet he still wants to play this whole, oh, I'm an alpha male. Fam, you're not an alpha male. That's one thing I remember talking about at my old job. There was this chef there where me and him, we always love talking about just like things that people say, but it's like not so much as that they don't mean it, but it's overall not true. We always just love to like crack jokes and just talk about like just I guess like how people today talk and things, but anyways, that was one thing that I remember me and him talking about, the chef, was that when a guy has to tell people I'm a grown man, usually they don't act like a grown man. Usually they got like some childish tendencies about them and stuff. So when I look at guys like Andrew Tate, because I feel like there is this one video where it really showcases who Andrew Tate is in the inside, and he's a scared child. He is. A man. He said, like, don't get me wrong. He is of age. He is an adult, but he's a child. And that's something where I'm all like, fam, my thing is this: if you got it like maybe not on an everyday basis, but it's like if that's like who you say that you are, that's not who you are. I know people gonna probably be all like, explain how he says that he's an alpha male, but he's not an alpha male. My thing is this: nobody has to tell people. And my thing is this: how are we even supposed to know if he's this quote unquote alpha male? And we didn't start really hearing about him until a few years ago, like 3-4 years ago. I did not know if this. The only other information that we have about him wasn't he like a professional fighter? That's the only other information that we have about him. Then all of a sudden, he just starts saying a bunch of different crazy, wild, and outlandish stuff on his podcast, or just overall throughout social media. And now all of a sudden, we supposed to acknowledge this guy as an alpha male. No. My thing is this: there's guys that exist in this world where they probably have never said that about themselves, and they're more of an alpha male than Andrew Tate. And they're probably a dude that wears tight clothing, goes to Starbucks, get themselves a caramel frappuccino with extra caramel. What are some other things? Sit around, watch love story movies, shed a tear at times. What are some other things I can think of? But yeah, they're more of an alpha male than Andrew Tate. But it's like, just because you call yourself an alpha male, that don't make you an alpha male. That just makes you a guy where it's all like, you got a loud mouth. I'm like, if anything, where it's like, yeah, you say those types of things, but it's all like, okay, it's like, it ain't even just white noise. It's an annoying noise that just keeps going off. So I'm like, yeah, with guys like Andrew Tate, I'm like, fam, I feel like with Andrew Tate, that's what's going to be his future, is a woman is going to punk him out. And I'm like, I feel like with Myron Gaines, it's going to be either a man or a woman that punks him out. But I feel like with Andrew Tate, it's definitely going to be a woman that punks him out. And it's just somewhere it's like he's gonna have to live with that for the rest of his life. And I'm telling you, that is going to tear him. Well, I mean, overall, I feel like that he is kind of ruining his life already. I guess like he is going through some court stuff. And I guess, like they say, if he's found guilty, he could be facing up to 20 years in prison. So what? He's like 30, almost 40 something years old, I think. Hold on for a second. Let me look him up real quick. He's 38 years old. So yeah, I guess he'll get out when he's 58. And I'm like, I guarantee and I promise you, 20 years from now, ain't nobody gonna remember who Andrew Tate is. It's like, yeah, you know, you had your 15 minutes of fame going on for the past few years, and it shouldn't have lasted as long as it did. But overall, though, I feel like, yeah, 20 years from now, ain't nobody gonna be talking about no. I feel like that it'll be some, you know, like, yeah, we're all adults, we all got our lives going on, and then we see some tweet or post talking about, oh, famous podcaster from 20 years ago gets released from prison. Do you honestly think you're gonna have that same type of clout? Because you're gonna have a lot of other people that are going to take that spot. Do you honestly think 20 years from now, let's just say if he does go to prison for the next 20 years, do you honestly think he's still going to have the same type of clout? I feel like the only people that will say yes is some diehard fan of his. But I guarantee and I promise you, after a while, they going to most likely stop watching his content too. I don't see not one of his fans currently right now supporting him 20 years later when they might check out a video here and there. But after that, they going to be like, man, I got my own. But you know what? No, that's the thing though with fans like, I guess, yeah, with Myron Gaines and Andrew Tate, is that after a while, they do end up leaving. Because it's like, yeah, you see where these guys, they was blowing up, had everything going for themselves at some point in time, and then you kind of see where they just start falling off. And then that's when they start saying some old crazy, wild, and outlandish stuff. I guess either hoping that something goes viral, or they wait up until they get pretty much canceled, and then they can't even post on social media no more. But overall, though, it's like, no, I've seen that so many different times, though, with fans of like toxic people, where they just, it doesn't even take them going through some crap for their fans to disappear. Their fans just disappear. They're all like, no, I don't want to be bothered with this individual no more. It's like, I'm getting older. I'm realizing now that this person is toxic. That ain't good for my health. Why am I sitting around watching this guy? That's embarrassing. Like, I just remember the one kid that was in school, and I think I was getting ready to talk on that, but I just got sidetracked and started talking about other stuff. But anyways, there was this one kid that was, it was like a video that I watched, but anyways, he's off up in the front of the classroom talking about, oh, I'm an alpha male and you gotta bow down to me. It was so cringy, and I'm like, kid, please sit down. You are embarrassing yourself. And that's how I look at these guys. That's how I look when I see guys carrying on like that. I'm like, fam, that is embarrassing. It is. You cannot, my thing is this, you cannot tell me that stuff like that is normal. It's not, bro. It's not. It's sad. So that's why I'm like, man, you know, guys like that, I'm like, bro, I think if it was a toss-up between them three and then, yeah, leading into the next guy, DJ Akademiks, I think I would rather have his career. Like, DJ Akademiks, that's the crazy thing about it, is that I remember watching his videos years ago when he was just like a news guy. He would just talk on, like, what was going on in the hip-hop news. And so, anyways, it didn't just seem like after that, he just ended up becoming another toxic individual online. And I'm like, fam, what, you know, and the thing is this, like, I know a lot of people get on him for supporting Drake. And, I mean, if he does really support Drake like that, then I'm like, hey, you know, I guess, I don't know, maybe just Drake, yeah, he does something for him. I don't see what it could be, but overall, yeah, you know, that's, he really supports that man. But overall, though, I'm like, I just don't get that. But yeah, it just, you know, that was something where I'm all like, all right, you know, no big deal. He supports Drake. Then it just seems like as the time went on, then it was just more stuff after more stuff. And I'm like, fam, because, hold on for a second, because I did search him up. So, like, currently right now, DJ Akademiks is trending, and I haven't watched that video, but overall, he was saying some inappropriate things to a 15-year-old kid. And my thing is this, it's like, I ain't seen not one apology. Hold on for a second. Maybe he might have apologized. Let's just see if there's anything going viral or he tweeted. No, last time he tweeted something was on January 15th, and that was on his Akademiks account. And then the last thing he tweeted, it was on his Akademiks TV account. but he he ain't even acknowledging that. I think it's DJ Akademiks. He's just somebody where it's like I feel like that he tries too hard to stay relevant, and I'm like, and it just doesn't work for him. It's like, okay, it's like, did you made that tweet you made? I feel like that he doesn't really have though as much clout as I like Myron Gaines or Andrew Tate, but he can say some toxic things here and there, and I feel like even with this situation, I guess where he didn't say some inappropriate stuff to a 15-year-old kid, it's like it didn't really blow up as much. I think it's like it trended for a little bit. I don't think it's trending right now. Yeah, it ain't trending right now. So it's like, all right, this is we already know what type of individual Akademiks is. So it's like and that's the thing where it's like, is like knowing how these three guys, how they act, how they carry on. It ain't even really surprising. If anything, it's just confusing and it's disappointing where it's like, you guys, let me just look up all of their ages because I think all of them are over the age of 30. Hold on for a second. DJ Akademiks, he's 33 years old. Myron Gaines, and then Andrew Tate was 38. Myron Gaines, he's 34. You guys is in your 30s carrying on like children. Not even like children. That's the crazy thing about it, where it's like there's kids that act more mature than you guys. Like, I remember kids back then when I was in high school, they had plans, they had goals, stuff that they followed through with. I think there's this one kid I went to school with where he got like a whole family and a car detail in place. And I'm like, fam, that is a lavish life right there. I'm like, nah, freaking shout out to him. There's other kids. There was this one girl that I was cool with where she traveled. I think it was somewhere overseas, and I think she was like a teacher of some sorts over there. But I'm like, hey, that's freaking dope to have that like underneath your belt. That's freaking dope. I'm trying to think. One of my friends, he's thinking about starting a company where it's it's either gonna be because I think he wants to start multiple companies. I'm like, hey, bro, aim high. But then also on top of that, he wants to also get into content creating. So I'm saying it's just to me where it's like, I look at all these people where they're younger than you guys. These are people that I went to school with, and I can only imagine what the next generation kids, what they getting ready to do, and then the generation after that, and the generation after that, where it's like, I think when they get older and then they realize like, okay, I'm not going to go nowhere being a DJ Akademiks, Andrew Tate, or a Myron Gaines follower. What could I do with my life? If you still young, and my thing is this, it don't matter whether you in your like teenage years, late teenage, early 20s, late 20s, 30s, whenever, you can always start fresh somewhere. But if you got your mind made up where you got to be this toxic, negative person for no reason, do not be surprised when your whole life falls apart and then you look up one day and you're like, dang, I don't even know what to do no more. Like, I guess I am going to have to go out and get a 9 to 5. I feel like I have heard situations like there's a hater of mine where it's like he's just ain't even fit to be working on 9 to 5. And saying that's just one of those things. I'm all like, yeah, I guess use whatever money that you got left to take care of yourself, or maybe I don't know, start up another career somewhere and things. But yeah, I just find that stuff silly where it's like people, they just carry on in a way where it's all like they ain't even no reason to carry on like that. With DJ Akademiks, the times where I ain't seen him say some old toxic things and do some toxic things, I'm like, fam, there ain't no reason to be carrying on like that. And I think like what his issue is that he be liking to get drunk on his stream, so that's why a lot of times he be saying some old crazy stuff. And I'm like, fam, stop drinking, get your life right. Go to the gym, work out, do something. Myron Gaines, I'm like, delete your Twitter account. Get rid of that Fresh and Fit podcast because ain't nothing fresh and fit about it. All right, Andrew Tate, I'm like, my thing is this. Talk with your sister. Talk with your mom. Ask them how do they overall feel about the comments that you've made. And I'm like, even the same thing with Myron Gaines. And yeah, with DJ Akademiks, ask people that don't, I know that because I know for a fact that their families can't be following their content creating careers. I know that for a fact. And if my thing is this, if they do, then they most likely see the stuff that they post, and that's why they don't be wanting to be bothered with you. I'm like, when was the last time you guys was at a family get together? When was the last time you guys was at a Thanksgiving, a Christmas, a family reunion, whatever the situation may be? But it's like, yeah, if they know about you, they ain't gonna want to be bothered with you and stuff. So it's like, that's one of those things where it's like, either they do know about their content creating careers and they don't want to be bothered with them, or they don't know, and then they just, overall, them guys, they just keeping it off the radar, and they're all like, oh, as long as they don't know, I ain't got an answer for this stuff, and I ain't gonna be tripping about it. And I'm like, that is things like that where I'm all like, nah, you guys, y'all need help. Them three need help, alright? So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.